Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Hope you're having a great day. We continue our Light of Darkain point crawl, and work has been pretty tough this week, actually. So, my charisma and enthusiasm is shot, but I still wanted to explore this map. Now, where we left off, we have this sub quest where we're exploring this castle. And after an interesting fight sequence in the moat, we ended up, the whole party is now together at the top of the castle's upper walkway, upper pathway. So, we are currently looking at a graveyard in the castle grounds, as I called it. And there appears to be a lot of corpses, skeletons, weapons, armor, just all you can expect in what would be post-battle. Now, I want to. I think we already determined, if I recall correctly, that these bodies and skeletons have been here for decades at least, and the castle has been isolated and closed off for probably that same amount of time. Because of this, we are the first to really see this traumatic experience, this traumatic view. And I'm wondering if any of our members are used to this kind of visual. Now, I have obviously stated that this is a dark fantasy. There's going to be a lot of the undead. We're talking zombies, more specifically, skeletons so far, spirits, and probably ghouls in the future. But I really think it's that bad, what they're looking at. And, we've been trying to play hero and clean up the land so far by helping, the family from the farm, rescuing that maid in distress at the watchtower some time ago, which was our first real quest. So, and the grandmother. And so I think this is really like, it's just it's overly exaggerated compared to what they've experienced so far. So let's do some kind of like mental roll. I think it would either be skill to some and luck to others. So I'm going to roll skill for the two I expect would be the most used to this. So a fighter, a Larks, and Tiff, the barbarian, while mob and ranger probably least experienced in those departments. So let's do a skill roll for our fighter, Larks. Okay, 7. That works. Then let's do one for Tiff. He has to roll 7 or less. I'm sorry, it has to be less than. Of course, it's not. It's 5, 6, 7. Which means that's known as a standard failure. Now, Larks, he does manage to shake off what he's looking at. Tiff, because of this, I know there's not really a stress track for mentality like you have in Fate. So what I'll do is decrease his luck as some use of a meta currency for that. So I think that really does take away from his luck. Now we're doing a luck roll for our remaining two event members. Let's do our mob. This is obviously going to cost him once he rolls. It's going to be 9 or less. That's going to be a failure. That is 11, so that exceeds his luck. So we're now down to 8. And then, so let's remember that he failed. Now, Bix, how does he do with 10? 8. So he's fine. So let's arrange this dice where above is a success, below is a failure. So Larks and Bix overall are fine. Maybe Bix was expecting it. Tiff just has that rough run-in with that serpent or whatever it was down in the moat. Mob, just for some reason, the sight of this unruly death throws him off, and I'm going to deduct another luck from him as some kind of consequence beyond anything in the narrative. So, with that done, These guys, our team is going to uh, look around to see what has caused such a gruesome battle to ensue. And I had some ideas earlier, which we will now roll to with our trusty D100, our percentile. Now, I'm thinking with all these dead bodies, it's likely going to be some kind of gruesome man-eating creature, monster, something very deadly, which also adds the probability based on our earlier run-in with the prior creatures and the those flying deadly creatures. So I'm going to say 75% it's based on some type of monster. Okay, that's a 67. That's a yes. Now, if remember 10 or less is a strong yes. Anything above that I usually like to depict or interpret based on how close it gets to the number. This is a weak yes, so the higher the weaker the result is if it's a yes. If it's above a no, the higher the no, the stronger it is with that result, so you interpret it as it goes. With this being a 67 out of 75%, we're looking at a creature that is most likely not in the immediate area at the moment, but it's probably going to be somewhere deeper in the castle. I'm not going to use this as a result for how difficult the monster will be. Whatever the monster may be, we will get to that shortly if we run into it. But I'm going to interpret this as its current position, and it's not in the immediate areas. But I think, without rolling, that there is obviously going to be some gate or large corridor that goes into the castle, or better yet, I'm starting to think of a monster that lives underground. Let's actually roll for that. I'm still keeping the idea that there's a corridor or some kind of large hole in the wall, but is this creature based in the sand, basically? So 75% chance on what I'm thinking. That is a super duper yes. So super duper yes means that this creature is we can use this to scale the creature. So it is massive that there's a giant hole similar to the type of creatures you would find from Starship Troopers or something, or like not obviously the size of the Earth or that giant worm from the Gears of War games, but I think it's going to be some kind of large worm like from Dune, and it's going to be the size of probably a bus, that it just has this large hole in the ground. So the team sees it, and they kind of look closer into that hole. We're going to use our ranger for this because I think he probably has the best sight for this party. So let's grab 2d6 and see if he can, like, they all see the hole, but they all look to Bix and ask him, if do you spot anything in that hole? Do you think that's what caused this, mayhem to take shape? I'm going to roll for that, 9 or less. Or I'm sorry, yeah, that's a fail. So, the failure, it's not a terrible fail. It's 2 above. So, again, you have to roll less. So it would have been 8 or less is success. So 10. I can try to push his luck on this one. He hasn't lost any luck. So let's roll again. Let's push his luck on that roll. If he succeeds, I will let him spot something, but not the immediate, nothing helpful. If he fails, it's going to be miserable. I'm going to conjure a bad plot twist. So it has to be 10 or less, and it is an 8, so that's a success. So we deduct that from his current luck bank, and what does he spot? Let's figure this out. So it's a partial success if we consider it with some degree, like in the Power by the Apocalypse system. So let's narrow this down, which is, again, a nickname I give this oracle. You just keep asking questions until you reach an answer you like or that makes sense. You may not like it, but it probably would make sense. So I don't think he spots the worm looking straight at him. Like, you don't see his eyes like looking through the darkness in that hole. But maybe he spots some kind of skin or scale from this worm if it's kind of a blend of a reptile, a reptilian creature that's also a worm, um, which doesn't but work. But this is a dark fantasy. I'm going to blend those two together. So, does he spot something that has to do with like the skin of this creature? I think 75% is still a solid number today. Yes, it is, and that's another strong yes, 10%. So he sees a large partial success. So it is a large skin, but he sees part of this shredded skin. Maybe it's a sword that is a dagger that is like uh, struck in the ground, and there's this scaly looking skin that the sword got onto the ground. So maybe one of these characters so maybe one of these doomed victims what were able to get a strike on this creature. So let me keep a note of that. So maybe this sand monster, we'll give that the nickname, is probably wounded of sorts. So I don't think I'm still really stretching that partial success. I really am. So let's say that this creature is wounded. And so Bix just says, I think, a big quote there, I think I see a sword with a blood and some scale. And they all take what he says. They can't really see it themselves. It's maybe dark out or it's becoming dusk. And I haven't really been tracking day and time, unfortunately, but let's move on. So they obviously, here's the problem. Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? The locket is lost. And this is the mystery of the castle. This is the silence of the castle. So they think the creature obviously took over this castle, but why would, you know what? I have an idea. This creature feeds off, obviously, humans. And if it's a sand-based monster, the sand monster, why is it focused on this castle? It can go anywhere else. It can, go after the farmers, the family, the town. There's probably other things around the area. But why this castle? And why is there dozens of corpses in that inner grounds? So there's a big mystery I'm writing here, and I have to figure it out. So let's ask some world-related questions here for the GM, not the players. Maybe they can decipher this, but I want to figure it out. So let's narrow it down. Does this creature have some relation to the castle? I already have some ideas. I'm going to say 75%. That's been my sweet number today. No. Okay, so it's not it's almost a strong no. Though the window was small, 75 to 76 technically to a 99 or 100. So no, it's not. It's not related to the castle in any way, which means I think this sand monster got in here somehow. Okay, does the creature survive? Well, we know the creature survives off human eating humans, so it's like the Hannibal Lecter of monsters, or it's like any monster really. Um, is it protecting something? Like maybe it's here. It got here by accident, or it stumbled onto this castle. It's been a nuisance here. People have been trying to hunt it down, or tried, and it's been killed, or they've all been killed. Is this monster protecting something? I think that's another 75% chance. Yep. So indeed, it is protecting something, and this explains why there are all these corpses. These are probably other adventurers or other bandits or other seekers of fortune that want to get whatever is inside this castle. So it could be just a coincidence that there is a monster here that just happens to be protecting something. Now, is it protecting something inside the castle? So let's do a 50-50 here. If it's 50 or less, what it's protecting is inside. If it's over 50%, it's in the immediate grounds. So 50 or less is what I'm shooting for here, and that's exactly what it is. So it's on the inside of the castle, and I'm going to assume it's likely a item or some kind of artifact that attracts this giant creature to be here. Let's just say it's that. So the team is talking, and I'm going to roll a plot twist. So this is a fixed 50-50% a plot twist. Does anything happen? Yes. So does it relate to this earth, the sand monster? 75% or more, less. Yes, it is. Though it's going to take some time. Now, let's say it's minor. So while they're discussing, like, why would there be some type of large worm, a hole, the ground starts to shake. And then our heroes start to not lose balance, but they start to feel it. Like it's an earthquake on a Richter scale of maybe 2 or 3, 3.0. And do they hear anything? So is there anything audible happening with that shake? 60% chance. Oh, yes, there is a loud screech, like a siren. A loud blaring sound coming from 75% less, the hole. So there's a loud blaring screech, a demonic scream coming from the hole, and the whole team hears it. So they pull out their weapons and they prepare themselves. And I'm going to assume, does this sand monster appear? 90% or less. Yes, it does. So they are not on the grounds, but they do have a vantage point from above. So the sand monster appears. It looks like the one from Dune. It has that big, all those teeth, and it's trying to look around, like what, smell something. Maybe it is based on smell. So it was so deep into the ground, it popped out, and now it smells our team nearby. Our team is going to have to do a luck roll because this is not what they expected. Maybe it was with the large hole in the ground, but I think that it's worth maybe a skill roll for everybody. Does the ground start to shake more? Like that? Let's say that this sand monster does go onto the ground and starts moving around like a worm. Let's say, does the ground shake? I'm going to say obviously yes. I'm not the world for that. So we're going to do a skill roll for to hold balance, basically. 9 or less for fighter, for Larks. That's a fail, so he falls. So Larks falls in. Maybe the monster hit the wall where it smelled our team. What about Mob? Mob actually is a thief, so I think he has advantage here. So 7 or less. He does not. Does not fall in. Okay, so let me keep track here of who fell in. Larks. Let's see. Let's use our combat sequence here. So I'll use notes on the side. So Larks is on. He fell, and then Mob is upstairs. He's upstairs. So Larks is downstairs. Down, up. Let's do a standard roll for Bix. 8 or less, essentially. That's a fail. So he falls in too. Bix falls in. This giant monster appears. Tiff, 6 or less. Well, he's a big guy, but still, he didn't fall. That's a success. So Tiff is fine. He's up. Okay, so we have our combatants positioned to an extent with this abstract, combat sequence. And now the monster stats need to be written down. So we have sand monster that is obviously guarding something. I'm going to give it a I really think this is a final boss moment, so let's give it a 10. I really think that's going to be tough for these guys, because look, the 10, 8, 9, 7, there's plenty. Stamina of, let's say, 15, perhaps? And then how many times can it attack? Let's roll d6 plus 1, maybe? I don't know. 4? Okay, so the whole team, it can basically attack 4 times. Essentially. Okay, so let's roll its result for the first round. Here we go. 6, which is 16 for the first round. Okay, so I'll keep this up here for the monster. Now we're in combat. So, disadvantage for... Well, actually, no. Larks and Bix can probably fend off themselves, but they're just dealing with a higher stat monster, so that's the difficulty really applied in the game mechanically. But I think the Mob, and if Tiff has any long range weapons at all, which he doesn't, I don't have to figure out how he attacks. But Mob obviously probably has he has his daggers, which doesn't help here. Yeah, there's gonna have to be a mixture of strategy and just standard combat. Okay, let's figure it out as we go. Larks rolls for his attack. He also has 10. That's obviously a fail, so he takes 2 damage. I'm not going to spend his luck just yet. So he's down to 15. Mob has the advantage, but he looks around. Is there any long-range weapon? Probably with what we've seen earlier, with all these weapons laid around. Let's see. I'm going to say... We'll do 75% chance that there's a bow of sorts nearby, or a sling. Yep, there is. It's a sling. That's a weak guess, so it's a sling. So he picks up a sling, and now he can fire from a distance, which would be advantage due to his height, his position. So we're rolling skill, the top 2 results, which is 4-2. That's going to be 6, plus his 8, so that's 14. Over... shoot, that was short. So he does get hurt. Somehow the creature hits him with his tail and probably gets hurt. So he's down to an uneven 11. It goes to 11, or went down to 11. And now it's Bix's turn. Bix has his bow, and he's going to fire an arrow at this menacing creature. The sea monster. I keep saying sea monster. The sand monster. Here we go. Oh, Bix is, he fell, so no advantage. Oh, flat. So he also gets hurt. All right. Okay, next is, oh, right. We're spending all the attacks here. I forgot. Yep. We failed so far. Tiff. Let's see what happens. Does he have advantage here? He does, but he has no weapon to attack from a distance. Can he find a weapon 50% or less? Because I think the sling was already one of them. Nope, there is unfortunately no weapon that he can do. So what he's going to do is be the adventurous one, and he's going to jump onto the creature. And now he's on the bottom, the lower level, and he's going to jump onto the monster and stab it with his axe. So I'm going to give him advantage for this stunt. So let's roll for it. Let's first do a skill roll. Advantage. This is not part of combat. This is an action, which I guess can be perceived as combat. So here we go. Rolling for the skill to see if he can make it onto the monster. Shoot. Oh my god, she cannot. All right, so he tried, but... oh, no, that's success. The lower 2, actually. Sorry. It's a skill roll. It's opposite of combat. Yes. He jumps up. That's a perfect. He jumps up to this creature. So I'll let him have a +2 for the next combat roll, and with advantage. So here we go. Still not impressive at all. So even with advantage, that's a 4-6. That's 13. He still does not get it. He tries, like, very confidently. He's on top of the creature and swings his axe, but the creature shakes him off, and now he's unfortunately down to 1. He is mortally wounded, and he is in dire need of help. So you can't really take a break here. Rations this monster attacking. So Larks is looking around for a shield of sorts, which is armor's not really in this game, if I'm not mistaken, in this version of Fighting Fantasy. I think it is an AFF, Advanced Fighting Fantasy. So he looks around. I'm going to do a skill roll because they're in combat. Panicking. Well, not really panicking. He's confident. He's a fighter. He's a leader. So let's see. Oh, this will be the next round. I'm sorry. We're gonna re-roll the monster. What's his new number? Oh my gosh, 19 total. Okay, here we go. So 19 total. Boop. And then his next 4 attacks, which I guess it's not really necessary to track him because we know there's 4 characters and 4 of our PCs. So I'll just put 4. He can attack 4 times. Okay, here we go. Against a 19. So we're doing a skill roll for our for Larks, trying to find a shield. And I'll try to figure out some house roll for armor here. Let's see here. 10 or less. Okay, 9 is a success. So he does find a shield. It's not new, it's old. So I'll just do shield +1 on the combat roll, because the combat roll is everything. It's the entire moment. It's not really like you don't attack, they don't roll for defend like you would in GURPS. This is a combat roll. So shield will give him just a general +1 in combat. If it was a better condition of a shield, maybe would have given him +2, but this is what it is. So now we're attacking with a +1 bonus modifier. 10 plus 10 is 20, and +1 is 20. Clearly a hit. So the monster, the monster finally takes some damage. There we go. Okay, next is Mob. Mob is going to continue attacking from a distance, which is advantage. So the top 3 results. Okay, we have 5, 6, 7, and then that's a 16 minus what's a 15, and that's unfortunately a miss. So he takes damage again. The sand monster hits him somehow, and he's going to do a luck roll to see if he can weaken that hit. 7 or less, that's success. So he's back up to 10, but he spent luck, so he's down to 6. There we go. Okay, here we go for Bix. Bix is kind of outclassed here, so he's going to look for a weapon, which is not his forte. But can he do a skill roll to look for? I'm going to do disadvantage because I think that's again not really his. He knows how to use a weapon. You know what? I'd say he knows how to use a weapon, even if he's a ranger. Here we go. He's going to look for a weapon. 8 or less. 6, 7, 8. Oh, we got lucky. That's exactly 8. So he finds a, let's say a rapier. Okay, that will give him no bonus. Just allow him to attack up close. So we're going to just generally attack now. And this will be for Bix. 6 plus the 9. That's 15. That's still short. He gets hurt. Stamina down to 12 now. Okay. Next is Tiff. He's on his last stamina. This is going to be tough here. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I messed up. I deducted his luck by mistake. He is low on luck, so I'm going to adjust his stamina to 6. My apologies. It's actually that line here. So 6. Okay, he's fine. He's not dead. He's just he's hurt, but not gravely hurt. Okay, we're gonna roll for his attack with his axe, and a 10 against 19. So unfortunately, 17 and the 19. That's a fail. So he does get hurt. Okay, next round. So let's roll the numbers for the monster. 6. Okay, that will be 16. And then now we're going to attack with Larks with his +1 on this roll. Ooh, Larks really does a good roll here. So that's going to be 12 total, that +1 total. So that's obviously higher than that. So the monster gets hurt once again from Bix, who's the VIP of this battle. And next will be Mob with his dagger, or his yeah, his dagger +1. Oh, I forgot. His dagger has a +1, but it's upstairs. So he's going to join the fray. He's going to jump in there, much like Tiff did. Same thing like Tiff. I think it was Tiff. Yep. Okay, advantage roll, because he's a thief. Acrobatics. Does that work? For skill check is the lowest too? Yep, it does. Okay. Now, he's going to roll with advantage to attack and a bonus on the dagger anyways. He's on top of the monster. Success. So the highest two for combat will be 5, 6, 7. +1 is 8. That's 16. He ties. Now, I'm going to screw the rules here, and because he's on top and with advantage, I'm going to let him deal just 1 point of damage. And he feels lucky, so let's roll for luck. 4. That's going to be 9. Down to 9, so 2. There we go. I probably could have done that with just the tie and then do luck and then hurt him at least once. Okay. Mob is at a distance now. He's going to attack with his bow. Sorry, Bix is at a distance now. Attack with his bow, which actually I keep forgetting. He gets advantage for using a bow. Here we go. Highest 2. Nice. So 6 and 5. That's 11. And that's going to be 20 total. That's a good hit on the monster. The monster's down to 7. Now it's Tiff. Tiff needs to be careful here. He's very hurt. Now, if Tiff, with his axe, that's his favorite weapon, that should be advantage. So I keep forgetting to include advantage if it's their specialty. But at the same time, the problem would be, it will be in every combat. If he always just uses an axe, then it's always advantage. So how is that fair to the monsters if it has to be a balanced battle? Which this is a challenging battle. But I mean, what I could do is just spend luck here automatically, like a bank, and give him advantage. That we can try that. I'd say that's a fun house roll. Let's just do that. So this moment he just has luck on his side. Top 2 results, of course, will be 6, 7, 8. That's gonna be so 15. Shoot, he's still short down to 1. Or he's still short, so he gets hurt. That luck did not help at all. Okay, new round. Man, Tiff is not impressive in this battle. My fault for giving him such a, or at least rolling him such a low stat. Okay, here we go. New round. 13. Yeah, 13. Wow, that's not that good. So here we go. We're gonna roll 4 larks. He's gonna spend luck for a advantage roll. He has a good amount of luck here. You're typically supposed to roll for it, which I probably should next time, but I'm gonna spend it like a bank. Here we go. Rolling for +10. Oh, advantage. There we go. That did help. So 5 and 9. That's 19 total. He does damage. The standard 2. Here we go. Next is Mob. Mob's going to roll and use his daggers. He's downstairs now. I gotta put that down. He's down below. Okay. That is a +1 with his dagger. So that's 7. So we're looking at, let's see, 15, I believe. That is a success. So he does deal 2 damage. Monster's down to 3. Here we go. Next is Bix with his rapier, whichever weapon, doesn't really matter at this point. +9. Okay, that's a 13. That's a tie. So if we're gonna roll for luck, Maybe he can deal at least 1 damage. 10. Oh, he fails. So that fails a luck roll. So with that, I'm actually going to injure him down to 11. He gets hurt. Here we go. Next is Tiff. Tiff is going to try to use his axe once again. 9. That exceeds 13. So the monster is down to its last stamina, and we're doing a new round. Because it's almost dead, I'm going to roll disadvantage, which would be these 2 ones. Okay, that's not going to be too hard at all. So that's 12, which is it's up there compared to the other stats we have on this sheet here. But again, it's not the best. It's his worst possible roll. Okay, here we go. Lax is going to use, I forgot to do his +1 last time, I think. Here we go. 13 + 1, that's 14 total. That's a hit. Okay, the monster is dead. It falls, collapses, and it just disintegrates, or it burns away. So, actually, let me ask the Oracle. Does this monster burn away? 50-50. Nope. It just decays. It just sits there, dead. Blech. All right, so they defeat the monster. Great. So, that is, it's dead. Oh, it was wounded. I think oh, I forgot about that. I don't remember if I did disadvantage in the first roll, or I should have disadvantage on all of its rolls if it's wounded. My apologies, everyone. Yeah. So with that in mind, because of again, I think I did not take notes thoroughly in this at all. So if I was mistaken there, I'm going to let the team take a rest. And here's what they'll do: they recover 4 stamina. So Larks is back to normal. Mob is up to 14 out of 15. Bix is 15 out of 18. And much needed, Tiff is at 6, but he's still hurt. That will reduce a ration per character. So it looks like Larks is out of rations, Mob is down to 1, Bix is down to 1, and Tiff is out. Okay, so there we go. They defeated the monster, they took a rest. Now they're going to... is there anything useful to loot in the area? With all the dead bodies, I'm going to say possibly. I don't think the monster eats items. Let's say 75% chance. Yep, there is. Okay, is the item of sorts a healing item? 75% chance. Yes, though it's very limited. Let's say only 2 of our members get a potion, and I think the potion will go to our friend Tiff. The other one is the other item a potion of healing? 50%? Oh my gosh, it is. Well, that would be 100, but oh man, yeah. So it depends on how I read this result. I'm going to say that would be 100. So I don't think I've gotten 100 before. So basically, if I'm reading that right, I believe that is, and that's a really stupid thing to say, but it's not a potion of healing, it's a potion of poison. And so I'm going to give that to Larks. It's a poison. He doesn't drink it. It looks very weird. Looks very odd, but there you go. So Tiff will take the potion, and he's going to heal. I'll let him heal twice of what would be 4. So, whoops, that's his luck. So it'll be 8, which would be 14. Back is back up to 14. There you go. Okay, so now they're going to look. Now, there's the hole in the ground. Is there a way into the castle? Let's say, obviously, yes. Let's say there's a large gate, and is the gate locked? 90% chance. Yes, it is. Okay, so there's a large gate, and the gate is locked. Large gate, locked. Okay. And it is locked. All right. Does the team want to go explore the Hole. I doubt it. Um, let's see. Yay or nay? Blue is yes, red is no. Let's say Larks. I think it's Larks is 50-50 on this one. He does not. Mob's probably more interested in the castle. Oh, he does. Okay, so Mob wants to go explore the hole for some reason. Okay, Biggs probably not. Unlikely. That's a negative. He does not. Okay, and then what about Tiff? Tiff's probably he doesn't want to. That's a negative. Okay, so only Mob wants to, but the team outvotes him, so they're going to continue, and they are looking at the gate, and it is locked. Now, how sturdy is this lock? Let's do a scale of 1 to 100. It's actually a pretty strong lock. Let's say I'll put its percentage is 82%. Let's see, toughness, if that makes sense. Toughness. And I'll decipher that in the next episode. So hope you all enjoyed this one. We didn't make much progress in terms of walking, but we are really spending a lot of time in this castle because it's very intriguing, and especially after that significant battle sequence. So as always, hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.